Hey everybody, what's going on? Helmlight here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. It's Tuesday and the patch notes for patch 8.12 have just been posted, and that means it's time for another patch note rundown. As always, I'll be going through the biggest changes in this week's patch and letting you guys know what you can be looking forward to in the coming weeks. First up, 8.12 is the last of the mid-season patches. Riot have basically determined at this point that having this level of disruption for so long is a bad thing, and so we won't have any more mid-seasons quite like this. We'll be going back to a single large mid-season patch, and then lots of adjustment afterwards. In fact, there will be no more large patches for the remainder of the season. Instead, until preseason, Riot will be focusing exclusively on smoothing out problems in the current setup. So you should look forward to having a little bit more simplicity in your games coming soon. So, as part of this as well, Riot have decided that the fighter items that were on the PvE, the Spear of Shojin and the Atma's Reckoning, are not going to be in this patch because fighters have increased in strength over the last couple of patches due to mid-season stuff, and so they don't want to buff them anymore if it turns out they don't need the extra help. So, it's unlikely that we will see those items potentially until preseason, if they're even still needed, so unfortunately won't have those toys to play around with. But let's go ahead and jump right into the changes here. It's actually a pretty small patch this week. Starting off with champions. Elise is getting buffed in this patch. She's too far behind other Echo's junglers, and she has been out of play for a long period of time. I can't remember the last time I've seen an Elise. So she's getting some buffs. Her movement speed has been increased in both of her forms, and her human W's base damage has been increased, so hopefully Elise feels a little bit better about herself in the coming weeks. So Kindred are being buffed as well. The Scuttle Crab changes and the Zeal nerfs have left them out to dry pretty much, so they're trying to get a few more power-up buffs in order to help them feel a little bit better about things, especially in the new Scuttle Crab world. Kindred have received a bonus to their A attack speed growth. Their Q's bonus attack speed has been increased, so after casting Q you get more attack speed. And their E's base damage has been increased, so hopefully Kindred will feel a little bit better about these early kind of skirmishes, and a little bit better about having to wait so long to buy a Zeal. Sejuani is getting buffed in this patch as well. Riot are making her early clear healthier and giving her better itemization by giving her some AP ratios so she doesn't feel as bad about building AP items, and in general they're trying to power her up after her nerfs left her in a bit of an unplayable spot. Her passive now deals % max health on an Icebreaker proc instead of flat damage. Her W's mana cost has been reduced and AP ratios have been added, so for all of those who build Runic Echoes on Sejuani, you can feel good about that. And E can now freeze medium monsters, super minions, and siege minions. Additionally, the non-champion cooldown has been removed, so you can now constantly stun blue buff, red buff, any other kind of buff monster or epic monster or whatever. You can stun it more constantly and get those Icebreaker procs. Additionally, permafrost damage and AP ratio have both been increased, so it will be hitting hard on its own at the same time. So this should make it so that Sejuani can have significantly healthier clears and hopefully make her feel a little bit better about her jungling. Finally, moving on to gifted shields. Now, gifted shields are shields that you are giving to another champion, not generally shields that a champion innately has. So something like Malphite passive, for example, is not a gifted shield, where something like Janna E is. So, basically, Riot are trying to give enemies better windows to play around shields, and they're also, so they're decreasing the duration of most of these shields in order to make them feel a little bit better to play against, feel more like you can wait them out as opposed to just having to brute force your way through them every single time. Additionally, they're nerfing Forbidden Idol's heal and shield power ratio to be less gold efficient to compensate for the fact that supports have way more income now than they did when Forbidden Idol was first introduced. So, let's go ahead and talk about this. First of all, Karma, Lulu, and Orianna's shield duration has been decreased. Whatever it was before, it's now only 2.5 seconds. So if you're Lulu, your shield will last significantly shorter periods of time. If you're Karma and Orianna, your shield duration will not last as long as you think it will. So you need to be a lot better about timing your shields as opposed to just kind of slapping it on a target and saying, go. That being said, Lulu's picks will still stay on her target for the same duration. So you still have 6 seconds to use picks to cast Glitter Lance from an ally, but the shield portion of it will not last that long. Janna's shield did not get any degree of reduction because it's also valuable for the stats, and it would feel really bad if you didn't get to keep those stats. So it now decays over its duration after 0.75 seconds. So Janna shield will be the same value, same total duration, so still 4 seconds, but after 0.75 seconds, it will start reducing in strength. So if you can time it properly, you can get the full value out of the shield. If you're improperly timing Janna shield, though, you won't be able to shield your AD for as much, and it'll be easier to break it off. Forbidden Idol has also been nerfed, as I mentioned. Its cooldown reduction has been reduced to 5% from 10%, and its heal and shield power has been reduced to 5% as well, so it's going to be significantly weaker in lane. And Forbidden Idol items, so Ardent Censer, Redemption, and Mikhail's Crucible, have also had their heal and shield power percentage reduced as well. So in general, you build these items, you will not be getting as much healing and shielding power. But this is so that these supports feel a little bit less overbearing to play against, especially if you're someone who really is trying to burst through this, but you just can't ever do it because there's so much shielding directed onto the target. So hopefully that makes things feel a little bit better. And then finally moving on to a couple of random changes, miscellaneous changes. Sterix Gauge now grants 50% base AD as bonus AD instead of just increasing your base AD by 50%. So this should make champions with bonus AD ratios feel a little bit better about themselves, but champions with base AD ratios feel a little bit worse. I believe it's a net power down for fighters, but it's not completely terrible. Banner of Command has been removed from the game, the biggest problem with that item being that in its best situation, it's overbearing and meta warping, and its worst situation, it's a troll pick and no one will ever buy it. Those are the only two states that Banner of Command ever exists in, so Riot have elected to just straight up remove it from the game. You cannot build this item anymore, so until tomorrow, get all your banner games in. Finally, some bit of a rune tweak. Celerity has been refocused to be more about the adaptive stats and rather than the flat movement speed. Its movement speed is now 1.5% movement speed, so not that much of a bonus, but it grants you significantly more adaptive AD or AP for movement speed. So you should feel a little bit better if you already can get high movement speed. So if your name is Hecarim, or if you're running a lot of the other movement speed bonuses in the sorcery tree, like Nimbus Cloak or Phase Rush, it'll feel better. If you're just trying to use it for the movement speed, though, it won't be as good of a pick, and you'll probably want to swap to one of the other runes in the same tree. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Go ahead and let me know what change you guys are most excited for in the comment section down below. Would love to hear it. If you enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you really enjoy the video, consider subscribing. I upload every Monday, Friday, and on patch days as well, like today. And if you're hungry for more Grab the Lantern content, you can check out my blog, link down in the description. I upload an article just about each and every single day for your enjoyment. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you all later.